Welcome. So we're going to be talking more about water, specifically the water cycle. To begin, let's talk about water here on the Earth. The Earth actually has a set amount of water. This means that we can't really create or destroy water. This is called the conservation of matter. So rather than being created or destroyed, water runs through a cycle, and we call this the water cycle. We will dive into the water cycle much more in the next few weeks. My goal today is just to give you the big picture. So before we get too far, let's talk about some key terms. First off, evaporation and condensation. We've already learned these in class, so I'll pause the clip and I'll give you 1 minute to review these terms with your elbow partner. So let's have partner A teach evaporation and partner B teach back condensation. I'll give you about 30 seconds to do that. Ready and go. Welcome back. Evaporation. This is when water changes from a liquid to a gas, and this is due to heat. And condensation is that process in reverse. This is when water vapor, gas, cools and becomes a liquid, changes back into water. Let's define two more terms. Precipitation. This is when moisture falls to the ground from the sky, and it can be in any form: rain, snow, hail, sleet. All of those are forms of precipitation. The last key term to define is collection. Collection are the places where precipitation collects. These would be things like lakes, rivers, streams, glaciers, oceans. Basically, it's where the water goes once it falls from the sky. So let's put all these together. This is a basic water cycle I have shown here on the screen. Let's start with collection down here at the bottom. So as you can see, it looks like there is a small lake, and it's the middle of summer here, wherever this photo is, wherever this picture's from, and the heat is causing water from the surface of the lake to evaporate. In evaporation, this water vapor tends to be lighter than air, so it rises and rises, and then these molecules begin to collect. Now, something about the Earth's atmosphere is as you increase in elevation, the air temperature actually gets cooler. So as this water vapor ascends higher into the atmosphere, it starts to cool down. And as it cools down, these molecules start to gather together. And eventually, the temperature cools enough, and enough molecules gather together, they start to condense. They start to transition back from a gas to a liquid. And once enough of this happens in the clouds, then we have precipitation. And that's when the vapor that's condensing, becomes heavier than air again. It becomes liquid, and so then these molecules condense together and they fall back to the ground. So as it falls back to the ground, then in the background here you can see a mountain. If it's snow, it's gathered here on the mountain. Could be rain, could be sleet, like we talked about. Any form of precipitation is just water that falls from a cloud to the ground in any form. And all this precipitation falls, and collections are the place that gather. So here in Utah, we rely heavily on the mountains as our collection area, as our basin. So what happens is it snows in the mountains and in the winter, we hope, and the water collects there. And then we have spring runoff, and that's what helps fills our reservoir so that we can drink and use water, and that the farmers have enough water to irrigate, and everyone's happy. So let's do a quick recap. Turn to your elbow partner and teach them the four main parts of the water cycle. Start with collection, go to evaporation, condensation, precipitation, and then back to collection. So let's have partner A go first. You tell them, teach to them the water cycle, and then we'll have partner B go after that. That's the end of the clip. Thanks so much for watching.